So, listening to you in, the sessions, not just this time, but prior times, I know one of the bigger things that you got out of it, we talk about questions, and everyone knows what a question is, but we drill down on questions. And we really start to understand the power of question asking. It's amazing because as kids we ask a lot of questions and that's how we learn. And then as we get older, we stop actually asking questions and we just have opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you actually go back to discovering the art of asking questions, really good questions, and we sort of differentiate between question asking and interrogating. And most people, when they're asking questions, are interrogating. And when you get away from that, interrogation, and what I mean by that is, if I ask you a whole bunch of questions, I'm really putting my opinion in those questions. Sorry. So you feel more like you're getting interrogated more than asking good, genuine questions, as a 5-year-old would.
Yeah.
So when you go back to learning the principles of asking good questions, and you're curious, you're genuinely curious about, how someone else sees something in a particular way, perhaps, or their own motivation towards something. You can really start to change the outcomes of success in your life just with that one principle. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And probably one of the biggest things I've taken away from that is, the quality of your life is directly proportional to the quality of the questions you ask.
Amazing.
Yourself and others.
Yeah.
So when the first course that I did, that we went through that, I went back and observed my 5-year-old daughter.
Right,
who
okay.
is a master at asking questions.
Yeah,
And
she's your mentor.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And look at why we stop asking questions.
Yeah.
And it's all, if you take a look at the big picture, with children, it's they continually ask questions, and as parents and adults, uncles, aunties, friends, we're busy.
Yes.
We're busy with life, we're busy with other things, so it's like, just wait, they can wait, and you put it off, and then they stop asking questions.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
and we almost tell our kids, I haven't got kids myself, but we almost tell our kids to stop asking questions.
Yeah, well, we do. We
Yeah.
sort of force them into our model, not intentionally, but just because we're busy and we're not present
Yes.
with what's happening.
Yeah, but when a child asks a question, they genuinely are curious and they want to know an answer and they want to grow and they want to learn.
Yeah, and why? And why is
Yeah.
this? And, excuse me, and why is that? And I think it's because we're trying to appease them
Yes.
and not actually answer them properly. So
Yeah.
they don't understand, so they continually ask until they understand, and then there's another question.
Yeah.
And that's, if we do that, life changes
Yeah.
for the better.
Go back to it, yeah. So I remember from some of your stories in the coaching, I think you got a free phone at Apple through question asking, and you probably weren't going to get one if you had just gone in there like Joe Public and, sort of carried yourself like everyone else does. And I believe, and I want you to tell me about a couple of these stories, but I also believe, in business, sometimes it can be tough to get people to pay you on time.
Yeah, in construction.
In construction as well, exactly. But even the question asking has helped you in that area. Yeah, can you tell us about those two examples?
It has. Well, the free phone was, I had a phone that was maybe 2 months old, and I dropped it.
Yeah.
And it broke the screen.
Yeah, right, okay.
And I didn't go to the store angry, or I just asked. Probably the best thing with people is asking with genuine intent.
Yes.
How are you? How's your day?
Yeah.
Because most people, it's like, you're here to serve me.
Yeah.
So it's not what I can do for you, but what you can do for me.
Right.
But if you ask them genuinely, how are you going? What's your day? They're more inclined to help you. So that Apple Store example, the gentleman that was helping me was like, you know what, man, don't worry about fixing your phone. I'll just give you another one.
Yeah, we'll look after you. So you're bringing in two principles from the coaching, laws of exchange and question. You're combining the two to really get a good result. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just I wasn't looking for a new phone.
Yeah.
But,
Hey, why not?
yeah, but I'm not going to say no.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
Most people are good and most people want to help. And if you can really sort of build that rapport, and you were able to build rapport with this guy in the Apple Store very quickly, and he wanted to look after you. And from from Apple's point of view, they've just basically, with them responding that they've just found a customer for life.
Absolutely.
You'll always go back to that store. You'll always go in there and want to support them, which is great. And tell us about in business the question.
Well, in business, the question asking, a lot of it started with myself, and who do I want? what sort of company do I want to build? Who are we?
Yeah, great.
What do we represent? And I hadn't really done that before because we were just busy.
Yes.
And it was just this next job, and they're not all good.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, some jobs are better than others.
Yeah, busyness isn't business.
Yeah.
You know, so asking those questions to actually determine who we are, who we want to work for, and build something good that works for everyone. So it's a win-win situation. That allowed us to push away a lot of bad clients that, you know, just they didn't have good intentions. They're happy with win-lose. That if we lose, we can't be there to support or service our product.
That's right.
If
you've got 50% good customers, 50% bad customers, you can survive, but it's not good business, and it's not good for you, and it's not good for your family, it's not good for your employees.
Well, might as well just go and get a job.
Yeah, and whilst that may be really straightforward for a lot of people, it's only question asking that really gets you to understand that. Because otherwise it's just business and you have good days, bad days. But when you actually start asking questions, you can really determine why do you have good days and bad days, and what do you have to do to just have good days.
Yeah, correct. And with the type of people and companies that we work for, asking questions about their business, their vision, their mission statement, how do they, you know, why us? Why are you choosing us?
Yeah.
Not just, can I please have the project?
Yes.
Well, if it suits our, you know, our beliefs and our values, then yeah, we're happy to work together. But if it doesn't, then sorry, we're not your man. You know, it's more along the lines of that, and that all come down to question asking. But also when you start with a new client, asking questions to get to know them and their business, how does their process work, so you can understand, and then you can work with them to make their life easier. And if they have a problem, you can solve it.
Yes. Yeah, another person in the coaching group. She was talking about how you know she's in sales herself for the company. They had never been able to win a contract. Another company had always won that contract. And after doing the course, she just simply went into a meeting with them. And yeah, they tried year after year to win this business and weren't able to. She simply just started asking more questions, good questions, similar to what you're talking about. Got to know them, got to know what their problems are. You know, ask more questions. What do you know about us? What questions do you have for us? All that sort of stuff. And she won the contract.
Yeah.
Simply by question asking. So, you know, I don't know how many times prior they had tried to win the business, but this was a long-term goal of theirs to win this business. And I know they had attempted before. Changing this, doing what you're talking about, asking good questions, get to know your customer, let them get to know you, and genuinely let them know you're interested in them through question asking, was able to get her to win that business as well.
Yeah, and I think yesterday an example, we've got a project on at the moment, and the engineer on the project is not difficult but very strict.
Right. Okay.
So there was an issue with some things on the site, and it needed an engineer approval. So I sat down with the project team, the project manager, site manager, and the other guys, and walked them through some questions to ask the engineer.
Oh, great.
With some possible solutions.
Yeah, workshopping it with your team.
Love it. And then I went away, and after the meeting, the project manager called me and he said, that was fantastic, because this guy now, we've asked him some good questions, we've given him some potential solutions, so he doesn't actually have to think too much about it, and he has faith in us now that we can actually deliver this. Yeah. So now he backs off us, because this guy was riding me like tomorrow. Now he's confident.
Yeah. And like I say, it's a real art of asking questions, and we go through that, and the coaching, is a 7-8 week journey, and over that it's constantly coming up in our group meetings talking about that, and over that time you actually learning how to ask better questions, and especially you coming back, to do the course several times, you've obviously got better and better at it, which is awesome, mate. The other thing I know, you've spoken about, and I remember the time that I presented the pragmatic thinking model to you, and then I think it was the next week or the week after, you go, this is amazing, this is totally changed my life. And the pragmatic thinking model, just to sort of set it up for everyone, it's basically, there's no real meaning to anything other than your meaning you give it. So there's an event, if you like, there's an event, there's your thoughts about that event. At that time when you get the thoughts, it happens really quickly. Not many people are really questioning those thoughts. That leads to feelings, which then leads to behaviour, and the behaviour for most people will take them towards fate. And what I mean by fate is because they've got a feeling, and if the feeling's not good, their behaviour is usually emotional and it's reactive, and it can create what we call, Basil faulty moments in our life, our faulty tower type movies. We talk about that a lot in the coaching. But when you understand the pragmatic thinking model and the understanding that nothing has a meaning in life other than the meaning you give it, and I'll just sort of back that up a little bit more. If something only had one meaning, everyone would see everything the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
But you and I will see things differently because our philosophical view of life is different. Some things we'll see the same, yeah, but we'll see a lot of things differently. So if nothing really has a meaning other than the meaning you give it, and then you learn to start giving things meaning so it just takes you towards your goals quicker, you actually can really turn your life around. Now, this takes a really disciplined mind to do it. So, all credit to you for being able to pick this up and, master it so quickly. But tell us about that, Michael, how that slowing your game down, bringing in the pragmatic thinking model has changed your life.
Yeah, that's something that is a daily practice to
Yeah.
not react.
Yes.
If someone, it goes back to that we don't see things as we are, we see things as we are.
Yes.
So if someone doesn't see the same viewpoint as what I do,
Yeah.
I either haven't communicated my point efficiently, or we're just on completely different pages, and that's fine as well. But taking the time to stop, have a think about the problem, solution, how I can communicate, questions, asking,
Yes.
and deal with the facts, not just fly off the handle and, well,
Yeah.
you idiot, you don't see, you don't get it. It's not necessarily that way.
So maybe an example is with this engineer technician you're talking about before that was a little bit difficult. There's you and your company. There's the event, which is him and being difficult. There's your thoughts about it, and most people's thoughts were just reinforcing him being difficult. But rather than be reactive to that, your feelings were, okay, we're going to slow down our game here. And what do we want to achieve here? Well, we actually want to have a good working relationship with him, and we actually want to win more business with this company potentially, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So the pragmatic thinking model playing out in that is you slowed your game down, you asked more questions, and then you took your behaviour towards your destiny, towards being successful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a great?
Yeah, look, that's a really good example. The reputation was that this guy's a pain in the butt.
Yes.
So every time the phone rings and it's him, or it's an email and it's him, they're like, what's he want now?
Yeah.
And it's not, that's not the way it has to be. It's,
No.
let's understand this guy, see what makes him tick and what we can actually do to help him.
Great.
Because then when he sees a phone call from us, or he's got to come to our site and, survey our work, he sees our name and we give him a good feeling because we actually contribute positively to his day. Yeah. Not the guys that argue with him because he doesn't know what he's doing, or I've been doing this for 20 years, you've been doing it for 10. It's not about that. That's not pragmatic thinking. So using that model, we can make things work effortlessly. Yeah.
And I feel like I'm back in the Apple store with you with this guy as well. What the principles you applied in the Apple store, you've also applied with this guy. So you've had 2 wins: question asking, doing the right thing, pragmatic thinking model, laws of exchange, just some of the principles. Slowing down your game, slowing down your game. We don't see things as they are, we see things as we are, recognising those things, the illusion of knowledge. These are all just principles that you've sort of picked up along the way, and you've been able to bring them into your life. And obviously probably make a difference in your life personally, and definitely professionally. We've spoken about that, but even personally, I imagine it's improved your life.
Yeah, well, it enables me to be a better dad, a better husband, I hope. And it goes back to, am I better than I were yesterday?
Yeah, great. This desire to constantly improve, which your 5-year-old daughter is like that as well. Yeah, she's asking questions. She wants to improve.
Yeah, 100%. And she's 8 now, so she's destined for big things because nothing gets in her way. Just a little bit more mentoring on the pragmatic thinking
Thinking
model.
model, okay. Excellent, mate. Well, you'd be a great role model for her, then, her seeing that attitude that you have. And, she has this innate ability to want to improve herself and, conquer the world.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you'd be a massive role model for her.